Welcome back. Time is 8:45. At least 2 people are dead after yet another plane crash here in the United States. It happened yesterday morning at a regional airport northwest of Tucson, Arizona. The FAA says 2 small planes collided midair before plummeting to the ground. Officials say the airport is in uncontrolled field, meaning it has no operating control tower. Instead, the pilots communicate with each other on a radio frequency, a common practice at smaller airports like that one. The cause of the crash is now under investigation. Should actually mention one of those planes was able to land safely.
Joining us for this conversation, of course, is our Chief Transportation Correspondent and pilot and FAA flight instructor, Mackay Beeler. Mackay, how common are these uncontrolled airports? Have you flown into them? How does it operate?
Thousands of them, thousands. And as a flight instructor over the years, I've spent most of my time at uncontrolled airports. Let's talk about this. Uncontrolled is kind of a misnomer because you think, oh, everyone's out of control. No one's in control. Not true. Pilots are in control. And as we just said, radio communication. So there's certain radio frequencies that pilots talk over to broadcast their position. So in other words, let's say Gastonia, Monroe, Lincolnton, Lexington, Davidson County, Asheboro, these are all uncontrolled airports. They don't have a tower because they're not busy enough to have an air traffic control tower where you're going to pay somebody to clear you to take off and land and separate traffic. So there's a frequency that we call on. Let's say it was going into Lexington. Requirements are that you call at least 10 miles out. So 10 miles from the airport, I would call and I would say, Lexington, Davidson County traffic, Skyhawk 7643 Golf, 11 miles to the east, inbound landing, request airport advisory. If anyone is in the traffic pattern, and yes, we do have a method of how we're going to get into the traffic pattern. We don't all just come in willy-nilly. Someone will say, yeah, there are 2 aircraft in the pattern, we're using runway 6. Or there's somebody on the ground in a building, an FBO that says, winds are 060 at 12, no one's in the pattern. So we already have the weather before we land in most cases, and if there's anybody at the airport flying, typically they will respond and let us know where they are. Our head is on a swivel. Where are they? Let me make sure I see them. So a lot of communication, situational awareness.
Okay, so for somebody who obviously never been behind the controls of a plane, I'm thinking, well, what if they don't hear me? What if somebody maybe has the wrong frequency? I mean, can that happen in a situation like that?
Yeah. And some airplanes don't even have radios. Not so common in this day and age. But maybe out in the middle of nowhere in Arizona, a small little airport, not saying this one, some airplanes don't have radios. Or they're not listening, or they're on the wrong frequency. Rare.
Okay.
It's rare that that happens. So you've got to be looking outside. Where's that aircraft? Or where'd this guy come from? And where are you? Make radio calls. What's interesting about this situation is the Lancer is a low-wing, single-engine plane, fast airplane, about 200 miles an hour. The other is a high-wing Cessna Skyhawk, 120 miles per hour. One's a high wing, one's a low wing. What if the low wing flew over the top of the high wing? The pilot in the high wing can't see, and the low wing can't see. So it'd be interesting to see where the position was.
But wouldn't they both have seen? Would they both have seen each other on radar? Not necessarily.
Well, they don't have radar.
They don't have. Oh, that's true in the smaller planes.
They don't have radar. So we're just looking outside.
Oh, wow.
More and more they do now. We have even TCAS. Things are getting more sophisticated, but you know, we'll see what happens. But it's not uncontrolled, so to speak. The pilots are in control, provided they're talking to each other and identifying where the other aircraft are.
Mackay, I do want to ask, because obviously we have seen a rise in terms of commercial airliner crashes, right? But in terms of these personal, private planes, this is actually kind of the normal in terms of the rate of crashes we've seen. You studied this all the time.
Yeah. So it's been about the same over these past few years, maybe down just a little bit. So yeah, I mean, it's sad when something like this happens, but flying is still very safe. I know this is scary. People ask me, I know they ask you, Mackay, what's going on? Is there a conspiracy theory? Can't even go there, right? I just think it's a string.
I quickly want to ask, as far as pilots go, what is sort of the conversation amongst pilots? Like, wow, there's another one, or we need to do, like, what's the conversation among pilots?
This was just situational awareness.
Okay.
So it just helps us learn.
Okay,
Because if we can't learn, that's worthless. We learn from accidents. But everyone's like an armchair quarterback. You know, talking about what happened. Again, we need to leave it up to the investigators. It is tragic, but hopefully this is the end of it.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Again, our Chief Transportation Correspondent and pilot, May K. Beeler.